Did you know that as citizens of India, you can play a direct role in the lawmaking process of the country? While it is true that most of the laws are passed within the four walls of government buildings, people on the ground have a huge role to play. Among the many tools we have as citizens to engage with the government, our ability to shape draft laws is often overlooked. In February 2014, heeding the demand for greater transparency and legitimacy in lawmaking, the Ministry of Law and Justice drafted India's Pre-Legislative Consultation Policy, or the PLCP. But what does the process look like? What role do non-profits play? And how do we ensure that it is being followed in a streamlined manner? Watch this video to find out. What is the Pre-Legislative Consultation Policy? The PLCP provides a platform and forum for citizens in the country and relevant stakeholders to interact with policymakers. The policy also states that the draft has to be accompanied with a note explaining the law and its social and financial implications and impact on fundamental rights, the environment, and so on. What does the PLCP state? Apart from the measures and reforms, the Pre-Legislative Consultation Policy states the following. Any draft law, rule, or amendment passed by central or state legislatures must undergo a mandatory consultation period. During this period, typically lasting 30 days, a draft law has to be placed in the public domain for feedback from concerned stakeholders. The onus also lies on the government to circulate the draft law more widely among marginalised communities and stakeholders and invite feedback from people. After the period during which comments are invited, the government must publish the comments received and its responses to them in the public domain. Since 2014, the number of consultations open for public feedback has grown by a massive 1,069% as per data provided by Civic Innovation Foundation. Simultaneously, the judiciary is also leveraging the mandate of effective consultation to ensure greater protection of the rights of marginalised communities. What is the role of the non-profits? Some non-profit organizations work specifically in the domain of public policy. But the role of organizations at the grassroots participating in the process of consultation cannot be ignored. Some of the ways in which non-profits engage with the policymaking process include grassroots organizations provide a platform to build awareness for stakeholders about any new law and policy that may impact their lives and livelihoods. Creating awareness at the drafting stage of the law offers community organizations the opportunity to make representations if feasible. It also helps the communities they work with to understand the changing tides of the industry and other factors that may impact their livelihood in the coming years. Non-profit organizations often make recommendations on policy decisions, but involving the community members is extremely crucial. For example, in 2020, the Ministry of Social Justice was seeking feedback on the draft rules for transgender people, which specified the process by which transgender persons could apply for their identity cards. Among other feedback shared, members of the transgender community gave specific suggestions that included not making last names mandatory in the application form. Grassroots organizations are uniquely placed to build consensus because of their frequent interaction with stakeholders, trust among the community, and the depth of their work in specific areas of the country. Their understanding of community dynamics and perspectives make the process constructive and engaging. What are the challenges that the non-profits face? Despite all the processes, community-based organizations may face their own challenges in creating awareness regarding PLCPs. Only a few organizations working at the grassroots level have their own advocacy teams or policy resources that can track and engage with such consultations. These roadblocks can be navigated with the help of tools like open source resources that track and surface consultations in specific thematic areas and can be used with ease, and IDR and WhatsApp. To engage with stakeholders, tools such as interactive voice response or IVR and WhatsApp can be leveraged. Apart from the technology use, the combined efforts of the organizations in mobilizing people highlights how partnerships among grassroots nonprofits allow greater leveraging of strengths. Pre-legislative consultation policies allow grassroots organizations to attempt to make the legal system truly inclusive. Ultimately, inclusive laws and policies can amplify the impact of best practices that already exist on the ground. The process of consultation is one of the ways through which civil society can bring about a change at a larger scale. But it is important to also keep in mind that these practices and feedback find their way to decision makers at the right time.